Oh, dear goodness. Smacked in the fro. Knocked in the teeth. Kicked in the midsection. You wake up on a Monday, you fade the NFC champs. You wake up on a Thursday, and you fade potentially the AFC representatives for the Super Bowl. Welcome into another episode of Moneyline Monaco. We are hurting. We are down. We are potentially out. No, we're not out. Subscribe or don't subscribe. Got to earn your subscription. Couple of L's here. Look, emotional when I look at the painting occasionally. We're still above sea level historically on the program. But look, Men in Black it, all about what we do next. About to go on ESPN New York with my guys, Bart and Han. I got some winners. We're going to rip through some of these picks here. I got 5 picks for the program. A couple of them are disgusting. So you can fade. You can follow. Let's kick it off. Let's talk Bengals Chiefs here, folks. Now, I grabbed 6 early on in the week. It's down to 5.5, pending where you shop. This is a great spot for Cincinnati, the place they used to call Burrowhead. And big thing I want to talk out, we got a couple of trends on our side. Mahomes in this spot, laying more than 3.5. It is as evident as you can get versus a field goal or less. And we were on the right side. Got to point that out real quick. If you're on the right side, betting a team the previous week, you're kind of able to look at them a little more rationally, logically, fact and reason over emotions the next week than you are if you lose. You lose with a team week 1 or the previous week, like when I talk this Giants-Commanders game in a few, and you lose real money on a team, you're emotional. This is as much a mental dance week to week and managing your emotions than it is picking these games. There are people that don't watch the games, that look at numbers, that fade public, that all are stats and win more than the guys that watch the games, etc. All I know is that Mahomes is under 50% against the spread as a favorite of more than a field goal. And when he is in any other spot, he is 24-8-1 against the spread. I'm telling you right now, the guy is 38-42-2 in this spot. Secondarily, huge value. If you're talking week 1 lines, now books do this. They throw the lines out for next week. Week 3 lines are out. For example, you're getting a couple of points of value in the Ravens-Raiders game based off the results of that week 1, both sides. This was KC minus 3.5 at home against the Bengals before the Bengals lost to the Patriots. Now, here's the other element of Joey Burr. Joey wrists, they're calling him. When this dude loses, when this dude is a dog of 4 or more, the numbers are on our side. The guy, as a dog of 4 points or more, is 10-2 against the spread. And when he's in that spot with Jamar Chase, undefeated, 5-0 against the spread, 4-1 straight up. How is Joey Burrow, you might ask, after a loss? After a loss, the Burrow bounce back, B squared. He's 14-6-1 against the spread after a loss. In September and October, that includes 9-2-1 against the spread and 10-3 ATS on the road. And most importantly, when his team goes on airplane mode and scores under 20 points, and there's some real data on this guy, particularly under 20 points covering, above 20 points covering. When he scores less than 20 points like he did, 16-10 embarrassment against the Patriots, he comes back the following week, and he's 8-2 against the spread. Look, We don't know where this Bengals locker room is. T. Higgins is out. You have to take in a little bit. Jamar Chase contract issues on a pitch count week 1. Do I dare say overlooking the Patriots to this exact spot? The reality is, in the 5 dances that KC and Cincy have had under Burrow and Mahomes, we got KC scoring 127 points, allowing 125. We're getting a couple of points of value. Andy Reid, believe it or not, with the Eagles, with the Chiefs, week 2, not a great cover. 8-13 against the spread for whatever reason. Week 2s, Andy Reid is not who he is week 1s. Look, we could get completely cooked. If this man can't hit a 15-foot jumper with the wrist, can't pick up a water bottle, a Gatorade bottle on the sideline without making it look funky, we're toast. We're screwed. But if we're backing history, we're buying low, we're selling high, we got a shot here to take the number and cover the number. This is a weird Bengals team. We have no idea who may come out. We're backing a number. We're buying Cincy low. Do I dare say it's sharp to kick off the program? Bengals +6 if you can find it. Next game. Dallas Cowboys laying 6, now around 6.5. Key numbers in betting: 3, 6, 7 against the spread. This lands on 6. Got to do a little research here. Juiced more at +6 for the Saints, and it is at -6.5. 6.5 on both sides. Another great number. This is shout out Action Network doing God's work in betting. Some of these numbers flat out from the guy, the man, Evan Abrams. Throw him a follow, show him some love. Sensational. Dennis Allen, after a win. We're talking over 140 coaches. He's 5th worst after a win. Flat out win the following week. 5, 16, and 2 against the spread. Dallas has been in this spot every single week last year. 9 home games, 9 favorites, 6-3 against the spread, covering. McCarthy, pretty darn good start to the regular season historically. In week 2 with the Cowboys, man has never lost. And he's 3-1 against the spread. Now, Dak as a favorite historically better than he is a dog. In fact, he's an excellent 23-13 against the spread as a favorite since 2021. There ain't no world like Jerry's world. This is a simple thing. Deshaun Watson looked like he was washed last week against the Cowboys. You want to talk about a mediocre outing? Guy was sacked 6 times with a very serviceable offensive line. PFF ranked top 5 through 2 picks under duress. If this becomes a Dallas simple formula, Zeke gets around 4 yards a carry, which he did. Dak takes care of the offense. Doesn't matter how they spin it. They get CeeDee the Rock in situations of prominence. They win the turnover battle. They wreak havoc with an opportunistic defense. They win the games they should. We'll see in January for the real conversation about the Dallas Cowboys. Again, big number. We're talking about potentially fool's gold with the Saints. No one's talking Saints in playoff football. No one's talking Saints doing anything above 500. This is what they do. They win these games. You think they might have a defense. Go to Jerry's World, grab some popcorn, maybe some kettle corn, a snow cone, go on the Ferris wheel, and get routed. I'll back the Cowboys at home, dome-on-dome clubs, better defense, better quarterback, better coach. History on our side as well with the Saints in this spot. Try to get 6 if you can. I suppose we'll co-sign on 6.5. Dallas Cowboys. I like a 10-point or more victory against the New Orleans Saints. Now let's go back to the world of underdogs. Take the 1.5 because we're getting the 1.5. I guess I'm walking into it. I guess. I will lose money on this game if I have to. I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams with a banged up offensive line, to say the least. No Puka and a cast of characters after Cooper Kupp on the road at Jake from State Farm's Palace. Do you know how bad the Arizona Cardinals are at home? Look it up. One of the worst teams at home in the entire NFL. It doesn't even make sense. All I know is that McVay sends a gift basket to the Arizona Cardinals for apologies after the fact of what he does to them every single year. This man has danced against the Cardinals 15 times. He's 12-2-1 against the spread against the Arizona Cardinals. Secondarily, he's known for being a hot coach. 17-4 straight up in September. Rams on the road in this spot as well. If we're calling it an underdog spot, since we're getting a point, they're 4-2 against the spread as road underdogs. They had every business covering 4.5 in that Ford Field rebuttal of the first round of the playoff stands. What happened? They lose a coin flip. They feel like Buffalo against Kansas City. Matty Stafford is hot. He is pissed off. And here's another thing. Kyler Murray, he's a pesky individual in the division when he's getting points. Against the Rams, he's not good. Sky is 1-8 straight up against the Rams, 1-7-1 against the spread. 4 straight L's straight up, 4 straight ATS L's against dating back to 2021, this LAR team. I don't even understand what happens when the Cardinals go against the Rams. He's failed to cover the spread. 8.4 points by average against the Rams. Any other team, he is well above a 55% cover against. You got to remember, Rams outscored the Lions last week, second half on. No Puka. You got to rely on DeMarcus Robinson, Kobe Parkinson. No previous rapport there. Tyler Johnson. Have no fear. Matty Staff, the backwards hat leader, is here. Those three combined for 13 catches over 150. Do not forget who the worst rush D in the league was last year. The Arizona Cardinals. They gave up just a tick under 150. All right? This was a solid Lions run D last year. That got better, putting in DJ Reader. The Rams are going against the worst rush D in the league last year. All right? Kyron going for 2.8 yards a carry and 50 yards ain't happening again. All right? Rams were one of 11 teams to rush for 120 on the ground. The McVay offense, do I dare say, works best when you run and you play action and you create motion. The Shanahan-LaFleur style. It's textbook. I don't know what could happen in this game outside of a Rams victory. They cannot lose this game if they want to get in the playoff conversation. You cannot go 0-2. And the Rams have been very impressive on the road to start in September's as well. We'll take the Rams plus 1.5. Plug your schnoz. We might be getting emotional. Oh, baby, this could get gross. I'll tell you right now, though, subscribe to a couple of spots. You get the splits where the tickets are, where the money is. You get diagonal discretion. That is when you pounce. The whole wide world has dip, dodge, duck, dive, and ducked the New York Football Giants. Not a soul in the land wants to back this team. Not a person in New York believes in the New York Football Giants. They're getting 1.5 points. at FedEx Field with maybe one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Do not look at Jaden Daniels' box score numbers, garbage time buckets, and count that as anything. This was a lethargic Commanders team that has no identity yet. I'm not sitting here calling this team a terrible club on the sample size of the season. I'm saying if we're going off of identity, continuity from last year to now, any conceivable positive trend to pull from in this head-to-head, Danny Dimes demoted to nickels, now pennies, is good against one team in the NFC East, and it's the Washington Commanders. I don't even know if you shout out the late, great Stump the Schwab. No, that Daniel Jones is 5-1-1 against the Commanders in his career. He plays one team well. One team well. It's this freaking team. Washington, as home favorites last year, winless, 0-3. You're talking about Austin Eckler, fantasy sleeper, as the number one wide receiver last week in a game that was over by intermission. It's over. Now, not a lot of positivity to take out of the New York Giants against Sam Darnold on his off-Broadway third act handing out flyers. But they did hold Justin Jefferson to 4 catches under 60 receiving yards. Addison had 3 catches. And Daniel Jones throwing 42 attempts is not the recipe. The Giants have to do 2004 I-form Madden approach because they're stuck in 2004 I-form formation approach. They've chosen this life. They need to double down on. You cannot have 42 pass attempts for Daniel Jones and 10 carries for Singletary. Boy, do they miss the man with the quads. The point is, Baker Mayfield ran rampant. Flo from Progressive called up her CEO, said we need to re-sign Baker for more commercials. That's how good the man looked against this Commanders club. 80% completion on 30 pass attempts, 4 tutties, sacked once. Look, I'm not saying the Giants are going anywhere anytime soon. They have to win this game. They don't win this game, I don't even know what's going to happen in town. But I will take a humble piece of pie, and we have to back them on ESPN New York, Barton Hahn, coming up here, 2 p.m. Eastern, and back them we will. The Commanders have not beaten the Giants since 2022. New York Football Giants plus 1.5. And we end landing in Tennessee, where mayonnaise is used unnecessarily. Will Levis hitting a button in Madden I didn't even know existed. All I know is they should update it and have him drop to his knees and put his hands on his helmet as a new opposite celebration. The Titans, who actually looked serviceable in certain spots, were a situational abomination. I jumped on the Bears plus 480 live last week. They don't cover. They hold Caleb to under 100 in the passing yards department, and the Bears don't score an offensive touchdown. Special teams, pick 6, 3 field goals. What is life in Tennessee? Thank goodness for the Nashville downtown strip. This team, I don't even know who the Titans are going to be this year. We got to sit here and realize that the New York Jets had a couple of wins despite a massive L on national television, and I did get that game wrong as well. They had no time of possession because Robert Saleh was spending all his time running stairs in his old stadium, giving up to a guy that didn't have a picture in Madden before this week with the Madden curse and C-Mac, no one talking about it alive, on a last-second bait and switch. Mason comes in, McCaffrey exits stage left, and it doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets hold the ball have the ball for under 22 minutes against a Shanahan run scheme that's arguably foolproof, you're going to lose that game 10 out of 10 times. Now, up 7-3, live betting, pick 'em. Hackett trying to get Rodgers' attention on the sideline, chatting with buddies, not going to be okay. Not going to fly. We need a locked in, pissed off for greatness New York Jets team. Sign Reddick, probably won't happen, but they need to address the front seven. If they don't stop the run, this team is going to be a stressful 9-8 club. But teams in that spot, under 25% time, under 25 minutes time of possession in week one's 8-23. 8-23. Nobody wins in that spot. Now, this is a terrible short week road to road situation. Then they got to go play, and I'll be there, Thursday night football in MetLife. But we're back in Aaron Rodgers after a loss. And the man is 45-26-1 after a loss in his career. And I know 3 and a hook is gross, but you have to sit here and say, all right, there's no way Pollard and Spears are going to run like this offensive line pushed around this Jets D. If there's one thing to focus on, if there's one thing to double down on Jets defensively in this game, it is make the mayonnaise kid beat you. If the mayonnaise kid beats you, then you know what? Put some tuna in my sandwich I don't want to eat next week. I'll eat mayonnaise against my will. Disgusting product. Couldn't pay me to eat it unless it's mixed into something that I don't even know it's in. Aaron Rodgers looked on a few possessions, not throws, possessions, like his old self. You got to love him on his all-time snap counts, encroachment, free play, Lazard, seams over the middle, high, how are you? Those kind of spots. I think his rapport with Garrett Wilson is evident. I think Breece Hall against this team is going to have a lot more success than the run D in San Francisco. This is a must-win game. This is a statement game. I'm backing Aaron Rodgers to out-gunsling the mayonnaise kid. And for goodness sake, Salah, do anything schematically, defensively. If the Tennessee Titans cover 3.5, I'm going to have to get another haircut. I'm going to have to walk a very long way in the streets of New York to completely rethink my betting life. If the New York Jets cannot win this freaking game by 4 points or more. So just to recap, Bengals +6, if you can get it, +5.5, we'll take it. We are swallowing the 6 if you can find it. We got to co-sign on it because the numbers are the numbers on a Friday at 6.5 for the Dallas Cowboys at home at Jerry's World. We're going to take the Rams at Jake from State Farm's place +1.5. We're going to take the New York Football Giants +1.5 at Washington and swallow the 3.5, land the Jets in Tennessee, pick up some barbecue, fly out of there, dropping nothing but mayonnaise jars. We got to win. We need wins. We need 4-1 against the spread, quite frankly. Subscribe, rate, review if you enjoyed any of this. Goes a long way. Don't forget to hug your mothers. Sports gambling with Moneyline Monaco. Ta-ta, real smooth. Let's go.